And we are set. So this is Wayne here with the 10% experience in the Community Coach Workshop Program. I have Danny here with me. Danny, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
I'm Danny Seabsugh Locksmith. We've been in business about 9 years now, and we've been using Wayne's community coaching to help expand our business.
Great. That sounds amazing. So what is your business? You have a locksmith business, correct?
Correct.
Oh, that's great. And then are you a mobile service?
Yes, I'm 100% mobile. I do not have a physical location.
Okay, that's great. And you enjoy the mobile aspect?
Yes, I do, because I get to travel and meet a lot of different people.
Don't get stuck in the office per se.
That's right.
That's good. So how did you kind of start this business? When did you start it? And how did you get started, basically?
Well, back in 1994 is actually when I got involved in locksmithing.
Yeah.
I was in an area that didn't have a locksmith, and at that time I was an operations manager at a lumber yard, and we actually, we just rekeyed quick sets there, and we'd have people come in for wanting their locks rekeyed of different brand, and they'd have to. There's a locksmith that came to our town. This is when I lived in Kentucky, one day a week, and so people always had to wait till he came into town. So that's what got me interested in it. And then eventually I took the Foley Bell Saw class home course, and I started it up on the side down when I was living in Kentucky.
Wow. Okay. And so how did that evolve in your business starting up today?
Well, I moved back home and had some personal changes. So I couldn't actually start my business up here till my daughters got in college. So my business was actually shut down for almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got up in college, I started it back up part-time, nights, weekends, and holidays.
Right.
And I did that for almost 4 years.
Good. That's
and then
great.
After that, I just took the plunge and took a chance and went for it.
Invested in you, and you were making sure that you can make your own paycheck and not relying on somebody else to do that for you, and kind of setting your schedule and being your own boss. And how do you like that?
Oh, I like that. I like that very much.
Absolutely.
Because, if you can schedule it, so if there's something family come up and you want to take off for it, then you just schedule around it. Because my granddaughter graduated during the middle of the week. So I was able to schedule my work around it and actually go.
I think that says it all right there. What you were able to do and be able to put family above work and be the owner and not have to go to somebody to try and make that request and possibly, get a guilt trip or, feel bad or whatever. Or, some people get terminated when they ask for time off. There are some jobs where you either take it or leave it. And, I really can't stand that. So that right there tells me that it's worth it on its own. You get to be financially independent on your own. You get to make your own schedule, your own hours. And, hey, if you wake up and you just can't go to work that day, you don't have to. You can call those customers. You can reschedule them. You get new customers. It's amazing being a small business owner, and it's what really drives this country. And I'm really, really excited to just be a part of being able to help people. So when we met, I've been coaching with you for about a year now, business coaching. And where were you at when we first met, and kind of how did that interaction play out? And then where we are now, how did that situation work out?
So how we first met? Well, I actually discovered you first just from your Wayne's Lock Shop when I was still part-time.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually went and joined your full-time, and then I started, if I'd have a question, I could call you, you'd answer, even though you never met me, just because I was a member of your Wayne's Lock Shop. And that's what all kind of spurred from that. We've actually never physically met in person.
We actually haven't yet. We'll have to change that one of these days. We'll have to meet at a locksmith convention or something one of these
Well,
days.
maybe next year up in Kansas City.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
with Jocelyn Sands. I couldn't make it this year. I got another commitment because I was wanting to make it this year.
That's okay.
With the IML one. So that's my goal next year, to make it to that one.
Well, I really, really look forward to that. So you saw a lot of the videos that I was putting out and a lot of the content I was putting out, and you recognized this person looks like they really know what they're talking about, and whatever they've been saying and posting seems to play out. So you saw this is somebody that, maybe we can learn a few more things from. Then you joined the private page, wayneslockshop.com. That's a locksmith training page for anybody that's interested in that specifically. And then what happened with the business end? Where did we start talking about where your business really came into play? We started offering and talking about more business courses. And then you saw my videos kind of go down that avenue. And that's when you kind of led on to that we were trying to expand and grow these small businesses as too, correct?
Yes. Yeah. What really got was more of when you had something occur that when somebody overcharged one of your accounts and froze where you couldn't do anything, but you had a backup account. Right. So after that, I thought that's a good idea. So I did set up that backup account.
That's good. Right. That's good. So what you're referring to there is PayPal. When I decided to try and pay off the last $600 payment per month early, they decided to charge my account $60,000 and basically locked up and froze that account up. And it was locked up for a couple of days. Now, that would put a lot of small businesses out of business. Luckily, I had a separate bank account, a separate checking account under the company name already set up and ready to use at a different bank. So we were able to continue to do business, and the bank made everything right. However, it took time to do so. And therefore, that's what catches people. If you are separated from your bank account, just imagine being separated and not being able to use your bank account for a week or 2 or 3. I mean, any of those things can happen. And if it does, a business needs to be able to survive past that. So after I posted that on there, then you were kind of like, hey, maybe this guy, he knows his stuff about locksmithing. Maybe he knows his stuff about the business end of things too. And then that's when we started chatting back and forth and private messaging. And I took you on as a client. And we've been coaching for the last year. So about how much has your total business increased in the last year since working with me?
Right now, I'm running about 32% increase.
32% increase. I would say that's a pretty substantial number to me. I mean, anybody can kind of bump, 5 or 10%, and that's usually 10%. A 10% gain is usually sought after and looked at as a pretty decent gain. 32% is fantastic. And I accredit that to you to executing the ideas and tools that I give. I can't do that for you. I can only tell you some of the things that are working for me, but you actually have to put in the work and you have to do it and you have to implement those ideas. And not all of them are going to work for everybody's business. You have to pick and choose the ones that work really good for you and see what works with the results, measure that based on growth that you're seeing, and then continue to do those things as we move forward. Right?
Yes, and then also more like some of the books that you suggested on some of the business books.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can say the actual names on the air with.
Oh yeah. That we've got Man Up by Bedros Keuilian. There's
Profit First.
Yeah. There's what?
Profit First.
Profit First. Yeah. Profit First.
Really
the 7 habits of highly effective people.
Yes, I have
Stephen Covey. Just the basics back down all the way to Think and Grow Rich. I mean, all of them, just positive mindset, setting your goals, accomplishing your goals, and continuing to, step it up each year. So you're either growing or you're dying, you're expanding or you're contracting. There's no level playing field in business, unfortunately, or in life for that matter, at least the way that I look at it. So I always like to try and continue to grow. And those books definitely help along with it. And I highly recommend anybody go get those books. By far, those are some of the best tools that you can have with that. And then we talked about a couple other things, getting, just little tricks, getting in with some community pages, getting in with local business associations and things like that. And everything's just been taken off. And you're even expanding into a new territory now. Is that accurate?
Yes, I am. And that's what I'm probably putting more emphasis on. I'm expanding up in the St. Genevieve area.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple customers up there, but I'm trying to get it where I'm at least spending 1 or 2 days up there every week. More consistency, that I have enough customers that I can dedicate, a whole day to data area. It's a small area, but there's a lot of business there.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to capture.
Well, you're gonna do it. I mean, it's just wash, rinse, and repeat. If you just take the ideas and the concepts that we've already done, you wash it, you rinse it, and you repeat it, it's going to be effective in a new area too. I'm actually expanding into new areas myself, and all of the same coaching tactics are working extremely well. So I'm giving you the same exact advice that I am using and implementing and profiting on and making work for me right here, right now, immediately. So I'm sure it's going to work for you too. And I wish you a very prosperous new area that you're moving into. If there's anybody, like if there's people watching and they're kind of on the fence right now about should they reach out for coaching, is it really worth it? There's so much negativity tied up with the word coaching right now. Apparently everybody's a coach. And
Everybody.
I don't like that. I wish there was a different
all
term.
the time about that.
Yeah. I would actually prefer like mentor or things like that, but people also use the search term coach. So I'm going to have to go ahead and keep that for a little while. But if you were, talking to somebody who was on the fence, or maybe you a year ago, what would you tell them?
I've been approached by a lot of different coaches, but I wanted somebody that was a coach that was in the same type of business.
Right.
Instead of, okay, you join my program, you pay me so many $1,000s, but you don't get me, you'll get one of my predecessors that teach you. Actually, if I have a locksmith problem, or if I have a money problem or a sales problem, I can call you. You will answer your phone. And unless you're tied up with a customer, and I appreciate that, you do respond. As busy as you are, you respond.
Yes, sir. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And we try and make sure that we get responded to everybody. And I only take a handful of clients so that I could give that personal interaction and not have to try and just pawn people off on somebody else. It's not building a brand and pawning off. I actually like to engage. I like to run the workshops myself. I like to answer the questions myself. And I like to make sure that we can give you the attention that you and your business deserves, because it's not about gathering and pawning. It's about gathering and watching and seeing success. That's when I think that we've actually done our job and actually earned our paycheck, is when we see the success. We see it with you. We interviewed Karen the other day. She was in a situation, and everybody that we've worked with so far has had a fantastic success story. So I'm just really glad to see that you're thriving. I want to honor you for listening to my advice and actually, going out there and seeking some advice, because oftentimes people don't do that. They think they know everything, and our egos get in our way, and we think we can do it all on our own, when really it's a whole lot easier to learn from what somebody else has already made. The mistakes, you can make them yourself if you want to. I've made all the mistakes I can possibly make, and that's how I know what I know now.
Right.
So people can learn from that mistake and the mistakes that I've made, or they can go and make them themselves. And I guarantee you, making them yourself is a whole lot more expensive than a decent, honest coaching program. Would you agree?
I agree there.
All righty. Well, that's great. Leave us off on one note. Where do you plan on being in the future, and what is the ultimate Danny retirement look like?
After the retirement, I know I'm older than most people, but I'm not planning on retiring probably for at least another 5-7 years. And then if I feel good, I'll just keep on keep on growing, but I won't do the day-to-day stuff. I will have somebody that I'm going to pass it down to.
That's right. So you'll be able to delegate, you'll be able to go on vacations, you'll be able to spend time with the family. And that's what you're really setting yourself up for. You're building your own small business empire so that you can spend the time and quality time with your family and give them the things that they need to when they need it, right?
Right. That's what I'm shooting for. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's the kind of client that I'm interested in coaching. And that's the kind of people that I'm interested in working with. Believe it or not, I can be picky about who I work with as well. So thank you so much. I appreciate this testimonial tonight. And if anybody's on the fence, I mean, Danny is not paid. We met through Facebook. We haven't even met in person yet. So you take his testimonial here, give us a call. I'll post a link down below if you're interested in coaching sessions, and we would love to interview anybody interested. Thank you so much, Danny. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.